This is the Detroit Sports Podcast Network.
With junior middleweight boxer Tony Harrison, who is going for the vacant IBF junior middleweight world title on February 25th in Birmingham, Alabama. How sweet, first and foremost, does that sound to you, Tony?
I don't know, man. I think they should give you a job with announcing or something, man. It just how it rang off your mouth, man. It just sounds pretty good. But like I said, man, it's been a long journey, man. You know, we dreamed of this day since I was 6 years old. And it's finally coming true.
What's been your training regimen to get ready for that bout on the 25th?
I done went over and beyond, man. I'm up at 4 or 5 in the morning running. I'm doing 2 a days. I'm strengthening and conditioning. Like I said, my body is I done took my body through hell and back. You know what I mean? So just to make sure that condition wise, I'm just as prepared as I can be. You know, and if whatever he throws at me, I'll be able to catch it with the mitt.
And Tony, I like that. Catch it with the mitt. I like that. You're 24-1. 20 of your wins have come by knockout. Now, let me ask you, what is key to executing that knockout punch, to making that happen?
Being patient. You know what I mean? Whenever you rush something, I think you know your body works in similar ways. You know, when you tense up, you know, it's always easy to see when somebody's tensing up. So I think it's just being patient and letting everything flow. And just using your core, using your hips, and making sure everything turns in the right place. And as soon as it does, as soon as you hit somebody, you feel it. You know, it's just a little tingle all the way through your body. You know what I mean? It's a pretty sweet sensation.
How did that loss, the one loss that you do have on your record to Willie Nelson in 2015, how did that loss make you better?
It just took me, it just brought me back down to earth, man. You know what I mean? I was floating high, and it made me make a couple adjustments, not only in the ring or out the ring, but the people around me. You know what I mean? And it just took me to realize that get the people that started with me. You know what I mean? And we weaved a lot of people out, and honestly, a lot of people left. You know what I mean? So it just made me a better human being. You know what I mean? Seeing that everybody was around when I was winning, and then when I lost, it was, you know, it kind of took it as, you know, people scattered around. You know what I mean? So it just took me back to do what it takes to win for me. You know what I mean? Not for everybody else. Do it for you. And at the end of the day, you know, you can live with the results when you do it for you.
What does it mean to you, Tony, to say that you had the late, great Emmanuel Stewart take you under his wing? And he's a guy that had trained Thomas the Hitman Hearns, a legendary boxer. Mm-hmm. So what does it mean to you to say that he did, this man who's truly was legendary, took you under his wing?
That can't be replaced. You know what I mean? It's not a day go by that I don't miss just a general conversation with the man. You know what I mean? So for me, I miss the conversation. I miss the, you know, just the small stuff. You know what I mean? And he elevated me more as a human than a fighter. You know what I mean? He was a book of wisdom in a human being body. You know what I mean? So everything I needed in one book. When it came to the sport of boxing, he was that. You know, it was nothing he couldn't answer for me. It wasn't a big fight that he was commentating that I wasn't at. You know what I mean? So he brought me around that scenery to just what a champ's life's like. You know what I mean? So I knew what a champ's life was like before I even began the journey of being a champion. You know what I mean? I was around him. I was molded by the broadcasters. I stayed with Jim Lampley for a week, you know what I mean, at his house. So, you know, I was molded around those guys, a successful group of men. And it just, you know, it kind of blossomed on me to just find a way to be successful.
Now, if Emmanuel was still around today, what would he tell you? What would be his words of advice to get you ready for this world title bout on the 25th?
He would tell me, you know what, he'd just tell me stay focused, man. Stay focused and put the leg work in, you know what I mean, have no regrets. I would have had sparring partners probably from all around the world because he probably would have flew everybody in. You know, he would have made sure that I had top-notch work, top-notch training. I probably wouldn't be training here right now, to be honest. You know what I mean? You never know, man. Emmanuel was tricky, man. You know, when you can prepare for a championship fight, he took it as, you know, he took it very, very seriously, man. And you know what I mean? He isolates you, and we like I said, I would have just had us and my team, and we would have went out there and we'd have been isolated somewhere. We'd have been 100% focused, and we would have got the job done.
What do you know about your opponent, Jarrett Hurd, and what will it take to beat him?
He's driven, man. You know what I mean? Anybody that's driven, it beats skill to me any kind of day in the world. You know what I mean? Because when you got somebody that's there that has the drive to win, they try to win by all costs. You know what I mean? So he's one of those guys that wins by all costs, but he makes a lot of mistakes by trying to win at all costs too. You know what I mean? Like I said, when you looking to gamble, you risk losing some too. You know what I mean? You don't play the safe role, and I think he's a gambler. And that's I'm a gambler. So you know what I mean? That's when anybody that gambles, Mike Tyson, any of those guys that step in that ring gambling to knock you out, suffers a slight chance of getting knocked out as well, or losing as well. You know what I mean? So he's a driven guy, but you know what I mean? He makes a lot of mistakes, man. And I just got to be smart, man. Be focused. Like I said, my body, I push my body to the max. You know what I mean? Through the aches, through the pains, I kept grinding, and you know what I mean. I'm satisfied with how my body feels. I'm satisfied with the outcome of the sparring and the outcome of the training. I'm satisfied, man. So fighting, I just got to be smart, man, and just do what I was born to do and do what I've been doing for my whole life.
So if you win, what will you do to celebrate? Have you thought about that yet?
You know what, man? I'm gonna come back, man, and one of the things I'm gonna do, I'm gonna visit a couple high schools, man, to just show them that dreams are possible. You know what I mean? Not only do I give them hope, but I want to show them hope. You know what I mean? Not only did I set the goal to do it, once I've done it, I want to go back and show them that I did it. You know what I mean? And show them that the dreams are possible. You just got to put in the hard work, and you gotta put God first, man, and just keep grinding, keep the leg work, and no matter how many setbacks you have, you just got to keep pushing, man, and that's been the story of my life. Just keep pushing, So.
And I think anybody has to do that, huh? Any career.
And I don't care what you're doing. You know what? And that's the good thing about boxing, man, because it's so individually challenging, mentally for me. It's not nothing I don't think I could do in the world. I don't care. You put it in front of me, I'll find a way to get it done. I don't care if it's being a doctor, a lawyer. I think my mental capacity to just be out there by myself, running out there in the dark and getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning when everybody else is asleep. And, it just puts me at an all-time high of confidence mentally, you know what I mean, that I can do anything somebody else could do. I feel like I could do it.
Now, as a boxer who is under 30, how do you view yourself as a role model in the national landscape of boxing for those who are coming up in the profession, but in other aspects of life as well, who maybe want to take a tip from you?
If you was to look at me, man, from the outside looking in, I've always been family first. You know what I mean? I always stay family first. I always stay a course or whatever the plan was. You know what I mean? I never strayed away from whatever plan we had to become successful. I never strayed away from it. I never jumped from coach to coach or gym to gym. I always stayed loyal, and I always put family first, man. So for me, if somebody was looking at me, they would always say, the same person he started with is the same person he finished with. You know what I mean? I didn't go from my trainer to Floyd Mayweather Sr. to the next great trainer to the next great trainer. You know what I mean? We all kept it family first, and we stayed loyal to one another, man. So at the end of the day, we all trusted each other. So if you learn from me, I'm just a realistic guy, and I stayed loyal to what I was, and I stayed true to what I am, and from there, the good things follow from there.
How would you say the slogan of Valiant applies to you, which is be bold, be iconic, be valiant? How does that apply to you, Tony?
I mean, like I said, I'm in big bold letters. Super bad should be valiant. Super bad should be like the one word, man. Because you know what I mean. Everything you do is in big bold letters. The spotlight is on you. You know what I mean. It's be fierce. It's be, you know what I mean. Just be it. Be exactly what you can be, man. And when the spotlight is on you, valiant is the word for that. It's only me in there. You know what I mean. I'm the only one they're looking at. So when I make a mistake, it's me making that mistake. You know what I mean? And I'm that one that they keyed in on. You know what I mean? So that valiant word for me it stands for super bad, man, because that's everything about valiant.
Who was the one boxer that you looked up to growing up that really taught you the most, you think?
As I got older, it was my granddad. But before that, just watching the sport, I used to always like Vernon Forrest. You know what I mean? He was always a guy that's that I didn't know personally, but just from the outside looking, he looked like he just stood for he didn't fall short of what he stood for. You know what I mean? And He kind of was built like me, tall, rangy, skinny, lanky. But when it came down to boxing and pure heart and pure skill, he had it all, man. So I looked up to him.
Are you interested in a Floyd Mayweather-Conor McGregor fight?
You know what? As a boxer, man, I'm honestly not, man. You know what I mean? It's a circus show for me. You know what I mean? I would be more interested in hearing Conor McGregor talk to Floyd and Floyd talk to Conor.
The trash talking going on.
Yeah,
they're like elite trash talkers, right?
I mean, that's the top of the upper echelon of trash talking. You know what I mean? And they all have they both had their individual talents when it comes to that specific trash talking kind of thing. You know what I mean? And but as far as the fight wise, I know what it takes to be a fighter. I know what it takes to be just a pure boxer, and I know the hard work it took. It took me 20 years to get to where I was. You know what I mean? So you mean to tell me Conor McGregor comes from MMA to beating the best fighter of our generation, and like I said, I think it's a circus show. I think Floyd destroys him. You know what I mean? It's not MMA, and I just think I would be more interested in just the hype before the fight.
It wouldn't be a valid fight. In your opinion?
No way. You know what I mean? Like, you got valid champions, man, that hasn't had the opportunity to beat Floyd. You know what I mean? Valid guys that's been doing this their whole life. You mean to tell me somebody that wrestles and kicks for a living has a chance to beat the best fighter of our generation? It's ludicrous. That's outrageous.
Are boxers the best trash talkers in all of professional sports?
You know what, man? I don't think we are the best trash talkers. I just think it's no other trainer like a boxer's trainer. It's no other individual sport that puts in the most work like a boxer. Like boxing just builds your confidence so high because it's only you. You know what I mean? You know what you accomplished with only you on that floor. LeBron James is LeBron James, which is cool. But LeBron James also got Kyrie around him. You know what I mean? Kevin Love around him. Tristan Thompson that's rebounding and everything. Floyd Mayweather is Floyd Mayweather, and it's only Floyd Mayweather in there that's making those plays. You know what I mean? So at an all-time high, when you're winning fights like that at a big stage and a big level, you only get more confident than what you are. You know what I mean? Because it's only you, and you know that you only did that. And the work that you put in the passes that you made to yourself. You didn't make those passes to nobody else. You made those passes to yourself. You made that layup by yourself. You made that three by yourself. So it only puts you at an all-time high as far as confidence in yourself. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's, a cockiness or anything like that. You just know the work that you put in, and you know that the level that everybody dreams of getting on, you are there at that point. You know what I mean? And people dream of getting where you are. You know what I mean? You know the hard work you put in, so you pat yourself on the back for stuff like that.
Now, what's one unique thing about you outside of the boxing ring that people don't know about, perhaps?
I love football. I'm a football fanatic. I've been coaching the Michigan Bulldogs, which is an inner city team, in the inner city Detroit, and we've won the championship 5 years in a row. You know what I mean? And we've been undefeated throughout the city 5 years in a row. So besides boxing, football is. I'm a diehard football coach, yelling, choking them up. For me it's just building the individual man to just be the individual boy to become a young man and just take responsibility for their actions and because that's how I came up. I came up around those hard knock coaches, which a lot of stuff is cut off now, but the parents, the real hard, diehard mothers and fathers, they understand exactly what we are instilling in them, and that's what I am. You know what I mean? And from football, we got a basketball team. We just started a basketball team. We keep the same group together: football, basketball. Then they come to the boxing gym. So if you didn't know about me, man, I'm kid friendly. I'm when I'm not doing something for me or I'm not training myself, I'm with the kids. That's just it.
Who did you want to see win Super Bowl 51?
Tom Brady.
So you're a Tom Brady man.
I'm a Tom Brady man.
Is he the best NFL player of all time now after winning that 5th Lombardi Trophy?
You know what? I think it's unfair to compare positions. You know what I mean? Spotlight always went to a quarterback. You know what I mean? I don't care how good a running back did. If a quarterback did almost as half as good as a running back did, quarterback is more established than a running back. You know what I mean? So I think it's pretty, it's unique to compare positions. You know what I mean? It's hard to compare Peyton Manning to the defensive end that won the MVP. You know what I mean? It's hard to take the credit from a win from a quarterback. I don't care how good the defense does. It's hard to take credit from a quarterback when it comes to winning. You know what I mean? So that particular position, I think he's the best ever to put on a pair of cleats to do it.
And the QBs get the biggest acclaim, obviously.
Always. I mean, it's just like almost like I don't even know another sport that gets glorified like a quarterback gets glorified. You know what I mean? I don't get it. You know, and it lacks. It's crazy is quarterback's position, it sheds not enough light on the guys around him. You know what I mean? Like the lines that they have and the receivers making the plays and the running back stepping up and blocking for the. But you know what? You know, a quarterback's job to do is lead, and I think each and every night, Tom Brady has done it year after year after year after year after year, and I think he's just the best player to ever in that position as a quarterback to ever put on a pair of cleats.
And you know what? I don't think that's too bold of a take right now. I think a lot of people are thinking it. I know I am myself.
Man, I mean, it's hard to go against him. It's hard to bet against him. You know what I mean? And that was the thing. You know, a lot of people was going for the Atlanta Falcons because of the youth and the hunger and the athleticism that team had, but for me, it's hard to bet against the GOAT, man. You know what I mean? It's just like playing against Michael Jordan. It's hard to bet against Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? So for me, it was just hard to bet against Tom Brady.
Who's going to put money on that? Somebody beating Brady and the Pats, somebody beating Jordan and the Bulls. I mean, it'd be almost ludicrous to do so. I think you're right.
Yeah, it's ludicrous, man. But you know what? You got ludicrous people out in the world. Somebody, you know, Bleacher Report showed they had somebody betting $1 million on the Atlanta Falcons. You know, an unknown subscriber betting $1 million on them. You know what I mean? So, you know, I mean, like I said, sometimes you get lucky, man. You know what I mean? But the Atlanta Falcons played a hell of a game. They had the game the whole way. You know what I mean? I just think they could have did, you know, little simple stuff different, but that game was theirs for the taking.
Did you think that game was over going into the fourth quarter with that big lead?
You know what? At halftime, you know what? And it's the crazy thing. I had so much faith in Tom Brady. At halftime, I bet my partner a $50 bet. You know what I mean?
Nice.
At halftime. You know what I mean? So
not as lavish of a bet as Floyd Mayweather, but
right. But you know what? You know what, man? I think, like I said, man, when you stick to something, you gotta stick by it through the thick and through the thin, through the bad. You know what I mean? It's, you know, you gotta have faith in whatever you believe in. You know what I mean? So I always had, at no point in that game did I not have faith that Tom Brady would find a way to get something done, get something going, and he got it going.
So after this world title bout, how much are you looking forward to eating hot dogs, conies, drinking pop again?
Oh man, that's you know what, man? You know, I think that's every fighter's dream. You know what I mean? Every fighter's dream, because you spend 2 months, you know, just doing everything right, doing all the necessities, eating right, leaving the girls alone, eating the fruit, drinking a lot of water. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, man, after you know what? I think this is what every fighter does, man, because you see all the fighters, man, they weigh in at 150, you know, 147, just say for take, and then after a month later, they 195. You know what I mean? So I just think the hard training that we put ourselves through, man, I just think when the fight's over and everything is over and everything's watered down, man, you look forward to the greasy food again. You know what I mean? You know, it gives you something to train for again. For me, it just gives me something, you know, to knock back down. You know, it gives me something hard to do again.
Lafayette or American Coney Island? What do you prefer?
Leo's
Coney Island.
I'm a Leo's Coney Island guy.
Do you go to the one in Royal Oak? Because there is one in Royal Oak right over here. You have to hit it up.
I never knew
There's
that.
one really
I
close to Top Hat.
Dearborn.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm a Leo's Coney Island kind of guy. Yeah.
And now, really quick, what's the one tip that you would give to an up-and-coming boxer? One, you know, specific word of advice that can help them out.
I would tell them, if you're gonna box, you know, do it. You know what I mean? It's no hopscotch. It's no in and out. It's no in and out, because you never become successful like that. You know what I mean? Like when if you set your faith on being a boxer, you know, it's gonna be some shaky times. It's gonna be some hard times. It's gonna be some black eyes, some bloody noses. It's gonna be a lot of ass whoopings. You know what I mean? Because I took a lot of those. You know what I mean? But when you have the faith to stay on that road straight and to just keep going straight through it and stay dedicated to it, you know, the world is yours. You know, so for me, it's just stay dedicated to whatever you're doing, because it's no in and out. It's no, I want to box for this month of time, and then you want to play basketball, and then you want to play football. Because you got to realize you're going up against those guys that's only boxing. You know what I mean? So that's all they put their blood, sweat, and tears into. You know what I mean? That's why I took my lumps in the beginning, because I was playing football and I was playing basketball. And then when boxing would come around, I would just go box. And it wasn't the best thing for me, because those guys I were fighting against were only boxing. They were only all year round strictly boxing. And I think if you want to become great in this sport, like Floyd Mayweather, he's done nothing else but box his whole life. You know what I mean? That's how you perfect the craft. And I would say just stay loyal to you. Stay loyal to you and stay dedicated to the sport.
Now, you take so many blows to the face in your profession in the ring. Do you ever fear any of the long-term health and mental effects?
I didn't until I had a son. You know what I mean? And I look at the longevity that all the other great fighters, went through and how they talk and how they walk. You know what I mean? So now it is a kind of thing that's kind of, it kind of hits me and it makes me kind of nervous. But, up until I had a son, I was just like bumping. If that's going to be me, hopefully I just make the money and later down the line, if it happens to me, I knew what I got myself into. You know what I mean? But now it's like, you doing this to feed your family. You got to understand that this is how you feed your family. You do this to feed your family, but this is not something you want to do your whole life. You know what I mean? I want to be able to raise my son. I want to be able to see him grow. I want to be able to see him be successful, and I want to be able to show him how to be successful.
Is there an age then when you want to stop boxing by, or a thing that if it happened to you in the ring that would make you stop boxing?
You know what? For me, the term quitting while you're ahead is not the same as just quitting. You know what I mean? So if I ever become to a point where I'm just ahead, you know what I mean, and all my T's are crossed and my I's are dotted, and I'm able to spend the rest of my time and not work and spend my time and be 100% committed to my son, that's the time I'm done.
Well, you know what? With that, Tony, thank you for all your time. Best of luck to you in your World Junior Middleweight title bout on the 25th.
Thank you. I'm going to kick ass. I'm going to kick ass, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to do the same thing, and we're going to take a picture with that belt.